Let's go through everything that I knit in 2025. Hello and welcome to Knit Cheek. My name is Natalie and I am the cheek behind Knit Cheek, and today we are going to go over all of the projects that I knit in the year of 2025. This is my third annual Everything That I Knit video. So I made one in 2024 and my first ever video was actually my Everything That I Made in 2023, and I feel like we have come a long way. I just released a video of how I doubled my knitting, and I go into the things that I've changed that have really increased my knitting output without trying to physically knit more, but to just do things that made me naturally knit more. And so I will link that video in the description. In the beginning of this video, we are going to go through some stats for the year. Then we're going to break down each project and I will tell you the stats of each project, like how long it took me, how many hours it took me, if I timed it. And then we are also going to pick my top 3 knits at the end of this video. I'm going to go through the projects a little bit quicker than I normally would. I'd like to give myself like a minute to 2 minutes max to talk about each of these projects because I have a total of 27 finished items to talk about. So I'd like to avoid having a super long video. So I'm going to go through each project relatively quickly, but I will link a playlist of my podcast episodes, like my knitting update episodes, in the description below. So if you want like more details or want to watch more of the process of me knitting these items, that will be there for you. And I'm also going to link my Ravelry, which has tons of photos and notes on each of my projects as well. One last thing before we get into it today is I have a giveaway announcement. I did a giveaway in my stash video where I cleaned out my stash and my Ravelry, and the winner of that giveaway is Narda OX3BE. I'm going to put that here because I do not know if I said that right. So if that was you, please email me. My email is knitcheek@gmail.com. Thank you for everybody who left me a comment on that video, and I hope to do more giveaways this year as well. All right, let's get into some stats for the year of 2025. I finished 27 projects this year. I was hoping to finish more so that I can actually say I doubled my knitting, but you know what? Knitting is not about that. I am not a machine. I can only knit as much as I knit, but I did have fun making that video. So I worked on a total of 32 projects this year, which to me is super impressive. Like I'm really surprised how much easier it was to juggle multiple whips at one time than I thought. I've always been really afraid of doing that. And then I started doing it and it's really not that bad. It's not as scary as you think it would be. I finished a total of 11 garments this year. I finished a total of 12 accessories, including 7 pairs of socks. I gifted 4 items today, so I do not have 4 of the 27 items to show you, but I do have photos. I did not finish 5 projects this year, including 1 that I frogged, 2 that I'm hibernating, and 2 that I will take into the new year of 2026. Those are my stats. Let's now get started with the knits, but I need something to wet the whistle here. Let's get some tea. I just had to go make myself a cup of tea because I can already feel myself losing the voice. And my mom got me this really cute Knit Cheek mug for Christmas. It also says, "What am I wearing today?" on the back because I always forget to talk about what I'm wearing. So today I'm wearing a sweater that I made in 2024 so that I wouldn't have to take it off to talk about it. So this is my Sweater 18 by My Favorite Things Knitwear, and I knit this in a cashmere blend from Juniper Moon Farms. I am going to go in order of when I cast on these items, not when I cast off. All right, let's get started on everything that I made this year. So first up is my Camisole No. 4. This is a project I actually cast on in 2024, August 19th, 2024, and I finished it May 10th, 2025. It was on my needles for 264 days, which is crazy. I kind of hibernated this, like I had started it in the summer of 2024 and then stopped working on it because it got cold, and then picked it up in the spring of 2025. I knit the size small. My finished bust for this is 38 inches. I knit it in the yarn that the pattern called for, which is Knitting for Olive Pure Silk. I used a total of 80 grams or 437 yards, approximately 2 balls. I really love this top. I liked wearing it when it was warm enough to wear it. I have since decided that I really love to wear fingering weight tops in the summer, and I think going forward I will only make fingering weight tops in the summer, even though heavier weights make for quicker knits. I just like the drape and the weight of knitting something in a lightweight fabric like fingering yarn gives you. I also did a mod on this. I do not like I-cord straps because I find that they stretch out and they're just fiddly. So I knit a thicker strap, and I wish I could tell you how I did it, but I don't remember. I do have some notes in my Ravelry about how I did it. So again, I'll have my Ravelry link down below and you can read that there. I was not the first person to do this. I did see someone else do this as well, and I copied them and I love it. So that is my camisole number 4. Finished object number 2 is another project that came from 2024, and that is my Barbara shawl. It is a pattern by Georgia Fibers. I cast this on October 26, 2024, and I finished it May 5th, 2025 for a total of 191 days. I knit this up in Almani Santi tweed in the color Toast, and I used 411 yards and approximately 150 grams. And I made this as a project where I wanted to use all the yarn that I had. I had 3 skeins of this yarn, and so I had like kind of done the math and just increased until I had about half and then started decreasing. And it's kind of this really interesting length shawl where it's long enough that I can wrap it around kind of like a bandana and then tuck the ends in. And that's how I wear it. And it is really, really soft. It's very, very pretty. I kind of had a hard time knitting this when I was increasing. I had a hard time memorizing the pattern, but the second part of it where I was decreasing was for some reason a lot easier. That is my Barbara shawl by Gregonia Fibers. Project number 3 in 2025 was my January Cuff Club socks, and this is a pattern by Summer Lee. I started these on January 2nd and I finished them on January 27th for a total of 25 days, and I knit the size medium in this pair of socks, and they are Knit Pick Stroll. I have worn these, so they definitely, like all my socks I wear, and so they don't look as pristine as when I finish them, but I'll definitely put some photos of them when they were looking extra cute. I really like these socks. I think these are really cute, and these were relatively easy to knit for color work. If you're like looking for like a first time color work project, these were relatively easy and they have a really nice effect. And yeah, they're really cute. So those were my January Cuff Club socks by Summer Lee. Project number 4 is a gift knit that I do not have with me, and that is the Night and Day Cowl by Andrea Mowry. This was one that I knit for my mom. So I knit 2 of these. I knit one in 2024 and then I ended up giving it to my aunt. And then I knit one in 2025, the exact same cowl, and then gave that to my mom. So this one I cast on January 5th and I cast off January 18th. I was kind of in a hurry because it was supposed to be her Christmas present. So that's why I knit it so fast. In 13 days to be exact. I really love this pattern. I have now made 3 of these and it's just a really enjoyable knit. And I feel like now that I know kind of all the mistakes that I could have made that I made. My first one is a little tight. Some of them my I-cord rolls a lot. So I kind of know what to watch out for. I would definitely make another one of these. I think they're a great gift knit and they're an engaging knit. So I really did like this pattern. I knit the adult small and I use Sea Change Raving DK in the most beautiful like black and cream color, like almost black, like kind of more like a natural black, and then a really pretty bone cream, a little off-white. Does that make sense? But it was really beautiful. Project number 5 and project number 6 are the exact same thing. I knit 2 baby bear bonnets back to back in the same size and the same color. Oh yeah, no, actually they weren't the same size. So project number 5, the baby bear bonnet, was a size 3 months. And then I also knit a size 9 month. They were both knit in Knitting for Olive in this like pink color. What is the name? I think it was called Brown Nougat. The first one that I knit, I cast on January 7th and I cast off January 8th. It took me a little over 24 hours to knit. It's not the most beginner-friendly project, but it was really quick and engaging for me the first time I knit it because it was new to me, like techniques. So I was really motivated to finish it. And I had watched Wicked already and my friends wanted to watch it again. And so I was just like able to bust this out real quick. However, the second one, I did not finish as quickly and I felt like the second one was kind of a slog for me because I had just knit the same thing, and I don't know, my heart wasn't in it. But I cast that one on January 13th and I cast it off January 18th for a total of 5 days. So those were my 3 gift knits right off the bat. We're gonna get one more, at least one more later on in my list here. Now let's get into my first sweater of the year, and that is project number 7, which is the Sookie Cardigan, which is a pattern written by Celine, who is Woozy on YouTube and Instagram. I cast this on January 21st and I finished it March 4th, and it took me a total of 42 days. This was my first ever test knit, and I'm so glad that I tested. It's a relatively straightforward, I would say beginner-ish pattern. There was some short rows, and you know, you have to pick up for a drop shoulder construction, but I would say like an advanced beginner could knit this. I love the details of the sweater. The double knit button band and the double knit collar were my favorite parts of this. I knit this up in Lion Brand's Fisherman's Wool. I love this yarn. I have a lot of it in my stash still. It was quick to knit up, and I just really like it. It's really hard wearing, and it's not this like, I feel like it's soft, but it's not, I don't know, some people have sensitivity to this, but I don't mind wearing this. I can wear this with a t-shirt and like nothing on my arms, and it does not itch me at all. And I love the bomber like silhouette of this, like it's very cropped on me. It's just something that I really like having in my wardrobe. I still kind of struggle styling something with a round neck or like a high neck. It's really easy for me to throw on V-neck cardigans, but for some reason I struggle with the high neck. I do wear it, but I just feel like I'm always second guessing if like what I'm wearing underneath of it works. But other than that, I really love this sweater, and I can't wait to get more wear out of it this year. For this sweater, I used 444 grams and approximately 910 yards, which was just over 2 skeins for that Lion Brand Fisherman's Wool, but they are bigger skeins. I can't remember how big they are, but they're not like a regular 100-gram skein. They're kind of bulky. I knit the size medium, but my gauge was a little off, so it ended up a little bit smaller. It's somewhere in between a size small and medium, with my bust measuring 43¼ inches, where the pattern should have been 44½ for that size medium. And that is the Sookie Cardigan by Celine. Project number 8 is my first Hidden Scraps beanie, and that is a pattern by Haley Carter. And I started this January 27th and I finished it February 2nd. It took me 7 days to knit this, and I knit the adult small in sea change fiber, rabbing DK, and scrap yarn for the Hidden Scraps part. This is again the same yarn that I used for the Night and Day Cowl, the black and white version that I knit. This is Rabbing DK by Sea Change. I absolutely love this yarn. It is a yarn that you do need to alternate skeins with because it is hand dyed, and so I alternated it with itself. And then the Hidden Scraps part of this project is where you use scraps to knit the parts of a triple fold beanie that you don't normally see, so that you can get away with knitting a triple fold beanie with 1 skein of yarn. And so I absolutely love this pattern. You'll see I knit it again later on in the year. And this is the best fitting beanie that I own. And I attribute that to the yarn and the pattern. So I am super happy with this. I will definitely be knitting more Hidden Scraps beanies in the future. They're just my favorite, and I kind of have a hard time knitting something else once I really love something like that. So I think that I will definitely be knitting more of these. This was a Valentine's Day knit that I did as part of a vlog video where I knit a pair of socks that are coming up next, and this, and then like put together a cute little outfit. If you want to check out that video, it's on the channel. It's called like Valentine's Day Knits. So that is the Hidden Scraps beanie by Haley Carter. Project number 9 is my Valentine's Day socks, and this is a pattern by Charlotte Stone. They're actually not called the Valentine's Day socks. They're called Groovers of the Heart. I just kept calling them my Valentine's Day socks, so I think that's how I wrote it down. This pattern is from a book called Joyful Colorwork Socks, and this book is by Charlotte Stone, and this is the only pattern I've knit so far out of this, but I definitely want to knit a couple of more from here. I cast these on January 30th and finished them February 10th as part of that Valentine's video that I did, in a total of 11 days. This is knit up in Knit Pick Stroll, and I remember really disliking doing that German short row heel. But other than that, I think the process was relatively easy. I feel like I avoided wearing these for a lot of the year because I thought that they would be too warm because of the all over color work. They're a little bit thicker than my regular socks, but I've worn them a couple times now that it's gotten colder, and I really don't think there's too much of a difference. I think I could get more wear out of these throughout the year. So I do wear these. I just feel like sometimes like I don't reach for them because I'm afraid they're thicker than my other socks, but actually when I wear them, I don't feel like they're that much thicker than my regular stockinette socks. Those were the Groovers of the Heart socks by Charlotte Stone. Project number 10 is my Stornoway Sweater, and that is a pattern by Cheryl Makatari. And I knit this as part of a knit along that Casey from Young Folk Knits and those twins who knit hosted called the, what was it called? Stornoway Squad. It was called the Stornoway Squad Knit Along. I cast it on January 31st and I finished it April 7th for a total of 66 days. And this is probably my most worn sweater besides the one that I'm wearing. I really love pullover sweaters, but for some reason, I always pick cardigans to knit, I think because they're more versatile for me, but the two pullovers that I have, I wear constantly. So I feel like I definitely have room in my wardrobe for more pullover sweaters. I think my mindset is just like in California, cardigans are a lot easier because if it's warm, you can take them off, but I get a ton of wear out of these, like around the house or when it's cold. I love wearing my pullover sweaters, and I always get so many compliments when I wear my Stornoway sweater. More than I would expect. Like, I like the sweater a lot, but I don't understand why I get so many compliments on it. Like, it's just a striped sweater, but I do. I get a lot of compliments on it. I did crop the crap out of this, and I think that it needs a little bit more length. I love wearing it, and I feel like it fits perfectly in the front, but sometimes I feel like the back is a little too short and like my t-shirt will show at the bottom of it, and I wear crop t-shirts. I think it has something to do too with the texture of this knit. I find that textured knits like this eventually will start to scrunch back up. Like you can see my sleeve does that too. And I feel like that's what happens when I wear it. And so it like kind of shortens a tiny bit, like right here, this kind of bunches up a little bit. But other than that, I really do love the sweater. I don't know if I will get around to adding length to it. I have the yarn to do it. I just don't know how to add length to just the back and not the front in a type of shaping that wouldn't mess up the stripes. So that's something to think about. This was knit up in Blue Sky Fibers wool stock, which is a really nice airy yarn. So even though it's a worsted weight, like it's a pretty lightweight sweater for being a worsted weight sweater. I'm realizing now that I don't have the weight and the yardage for all of my projects because I don't always remember to put them in there. So I didn't weigh this one, so I'm sorry, but I did for some of my projects and not some of my projects. I have to remember to be better at that, but I am just realizing that right now. So that is my Stornoway Sweater by Cheryl Makatari. Project number 11 is another one that I don't have, and that is my Hooks and Needles tote. I knit up in collaboration with Hooks and Needles, and it was a tote that came in a subscription box, and it comes with everything that you need to make the item. Cast it on February 23rd, 2025, and I finished it March 16th, 2025. So that took me 21 days to knit this, but I did note that I only worked on it for 5 days, so it actually took me like 5 days worth of knitting. I don't know why I noted that, but I did, so I thought I would share. But yeah, this was a project where the yarn and the tools were provided for me as part of a collaboration with Hooks and Needles, so I was gifted from them, and I ended up gifting it. I really like Hooks and Needles as a way to like make gifts for people because they're very quick projects, and I actually have some planned out for this year to knit some of the boxes and maybe save them like as gifts for Christmas and like kind of be good about doing that this year. But yeah, I really like that tote, and the experience was pretty nice to knit that as well. Next up, project number 12 is another pair of vanilla socks, and this is just a basic pair of vanilla socks that I kind of did by memory from Summer Lee's pattern, but I don't think I actually looked at it. I think I just knit a pair of socks from memory, but she's usually who I use for my vanilla socks, so I'm just going to say that I based it off of her pattern. I started these March 1st and I finished them March 23rd for a total of 22 days. They are a size medium with a 64 stitch cast on. Whenever I say a size medium, that's what I mean is that I used a 64 stitch cast on. The yarn was a set that I bought from La Mercerie. It is a BFL sock set I absolutely love the color. These are some of my favorite socks. So La Mercerie is the company that sold it, but it was by an indie dyer, and I cannot remember the name, but it was like something to do with camels. But it's not camel yarn, it's BFL, but the name of the yarn dyer is something camel. These were some of my favorite sock sets that I've ever seen. I had gotten an email from La Mercerie and the picture was in there, and I usually don't like splurge on sock sets. I immediately purchased the sock set to knit these socks, and I really like them. So I'm really happy that I did that for myself. These are just another pair of vanilla socks, which I really love, knitting vanilla socks in indie dyed yarn with like a contrast color for the heel, cuff, and toes. It's like my favorite thing to do. So I really love these socks. Project 13 are my March socks. And this is the March Cuff Club by Summer Lee pattern. She does a subscription where she does like the cuffs. I already talked about one of these, the January Cuff Club. So this was the March version of that. You buy one pattern at the beginning of the year, and then she'll send you like a new fun cuff to try on some socks. And this was my favorite one that she did this year. I love the little daisies, and I loved doing this toe, which was not part of the pattern. I kind of just did this because I ran out of this yarn, because this is my second pair of socks that I've knit in this yarn. I knit a pair of I knit a pair of Oxbow socks last year in this Sea Change silk sock yarn. It is a nylon-free, non-superwash sock yarn with silk. All of the color work is just knit pick stroll that I had in stash. But yeah, I ran out of the orange yarn, so I had to get a little creative with the toe, and I was really bummed out when I knit these. I was like, oh, I'm so sad that I can't knit the whole thing. And then I ended up liking the toe. The toe is my favorite part of these whole socks. They're giving me like 70s, I drive a bug vibe, and I really like that. So these are my March socks by Summer Lee. Project number 14 is my Eva Cardigan by Petite Knit. I cast this on April 22nd, and I finished it July 3rd for a total of 72 days. I knit the size small with size US 6 needles, and I'm using the yarn Pearl Soho Plain Air in the color Blue Chambray, and I used 6 skeins. The finished object weighs approximately 552 grams, and my finished bust is 45 inches, and the finished length is 23 inches. And this is one of my favorite projects. I absolutely love this yarn. I actually started off by knitting the Acorn Sweater by Sari Nordlund, and I kind of had a, like, I don't know, I just didn't feel like the yarn paired with that well. It was a lacy sweater, and I absolutely love the yarn. It felt like something super comfortable that I could just throw on, and I wanted to make something that I could wear every day. And I felt like I was going to struggle with styling the Acorn Sweater, even though I do think it's a beautiful piece. Instead, I chose to knit the Eva Cardigan, and I'm so glad I did. This is something I get so much wear out of because I can just throw it on every day. It's not something that needs a ton of styling. I actually added the patch pockets, I think after the dates that I put in there, and I didn't even bust into another skein. I still did this under 6 skeins with the pocket. This is my longest sweater that I've ever made. I tend to crop a lot of things because I'm kind of short-waisted. It's something that's more flattering on me is to be cropped, but I wanted something long and oversized with this, and that's exactly what I did. I can't say enough good things about this yarn. I am a Pearl Soho affiliate, so I'll definitely link that below, but I really do genuinely love this yarn, and I have requests to make something for my brother and for Mr. Cheek out of the same yarn because everybody loves the feel of it. It's like 70% wool and like 30% cotton, but the mix is a really great mix. Like, I really, really love it. Did I mention that I love it? I'm sorry. That is my Eva Cardigan by Petite Knit. My next project number 15, is the Ribbed Lace Raglan by James & Watts, and I cast this on May 2nd, and I finished it June 29th for a total of 58 days. I used Pearl Soho Santalina, and the finished object weighs 178 grams. This is a top that I made during the summer, and I think I'm off gauge. It ended up a bit smaller than the size medium that I was trying to get when I knit this, but it's something that I have gotten wear out of this year, and it's really cute. I really like this yarn. It's really soft. It is a plant-based fiber. The color is Ice Pond, so it's a light blue. I went through like a really crazy blue phase during the summer, and this is one of the tops that came out of it. I actually have a vlog where I tried to finish this and my Eva cardigan. And I don't think that was it, but yeah, so I was trying to get some blue sweaters done for summer. This is my second lace piece that I ever knit, and I think I made like one mistake and that's it. So I think that's pretty good, but like I said, my gauge was off, so I don't know what I did there, but I think I just knit it tighter than James did. I really like the piece, and I think I will get plenty of wear out of it next summer as well. So that is my ribbed lace raglan by James and Watts. Project number 16 is another summer knit, and that is my ripple crop top by Jessie May Designs. And I cast this on April 30th and cast off July 29th for a total of 91 days. I started with a size medium and ended up frogging it and switching to a size small. And I knit this in Pearl Soho Sweetgrass. The finished object weighs 144 grams. I absolutely love the fit of this top. I love the way that it wears. I love the way that it drapes. It's gorgeous. I love the color. It goes with everything. I could throw this on and the outfit is super cute. The only downside to this is that I find it to be extremely itchy. The Pearl Soho Sweetgrass is a mix of cotton and alpaca, and I am sensitive to some alpacas, I guess. I had forgotten this. I knew this before I knit this. It's so weird because I knit the whole thing without realizing it was itchy until I put it on. It was itchy. And like, how did I knit the whole thing and not realize it was itchy? I just didn't have it on me, I guess. Once I put it on and it was real fitted before I blocked it, and I was like, whoa, this thing is crazy itchy. And then I blocked it and now it fits a bit looser and I'm able to wear it. I have a high tolerance for itchy things, especially if I want to wear something, I'm gonna wear it. I feel like this is just hard to wear in the summer. If it's warm at all, the itchiness gets heightened. Whereas on a day like today, if it's cool and I was wearing this, I would probably be fine. So that is the Ripple crop top. I would definitely make more of these in a less itchy yarn. I would love to make more of these for next summer. I really enjoyed the process of it too. It is a bottom-up pattern, and I find that like if I've got multiple whips going on and I'm doing something like shaping for the top of a sweater, casting on one of these would be nice because then you're just like already working on the body, and so it would be a good balance. So I definitely see myself knitting more of these in the future. Project number 17 is my Harlow Flip hat by Andrea Mowry, and I cast this on May 23rd and I finished it June 16th for a total of 24 days. The beanie weighs 87 grams and I started with a size 4, but it was too big, so I ended up ripping it back to make a size 3. I knit this as part of her challenge to knit a beanie over a weekend, I think in March, right? No, in May. But I wasn't able to do it because I had to frog it and re-knit a different size, so there was no way I was going to finish it in that weekend. But I do feel like it was doable. It was a lot of knitting. Brioche is a lot of knitting. Like you basically knit this thing twice. You know, if you know brioche, it's like you knit every row twice. So it feels like you're knitting twice as much. But I absolutely love this pattern. I actually have plans to knit another one solid colored this year. It did turn out big still. Like I probably could have made a set. What size is this? I probably could have made the size 2. And that's just something I need to learn in the future is, I don't know why. I think I have this huge head and I do have a larger head than some people. I think it's a 58 centimeters. I keep accidentally making beanies that are too big. I may give this to my mom because she liked it and she has a slightly bigger head than me. So that may work out, but it does fit okay. It's just like it's a little slouchy. It doesn't have like a little bit of ease that hugs you. But I absolutely love the color combination that I chose. I knit this up in Farmer Daughter's Pishkin for the like icy blue color, and then a skein of Feederbrook Farms Entropy DK. And I think they're slightly different weights also, but I made it work. It looks absolutely stunning. You can wear it the other way too, but I don't know if I would ever wear it this way. I don't know, something about it is just not as cool as the other way. So all of my photos I took are of it this way. This was my first ever brioche project and I absolutely love brioche. I haven't had a chance to knit something brioche since this, but I definitely plan on, like I said, knitting another one and hopefully learning more brioche in 2026. Project 18 are my Raccoon Socks. This is a pattern by Andrea Rangel. I cast these on May 28th and I finished them September 1st for a total of 101 days. I knit the smallest size, and this is the suggested yarn, I think, that she dyes and she wrote the pattern for. These socks were kind of hard for me to knit. I love the end result. They're super adorable. One of them is slightly smaller than the other one. By the time I was done with these, I was so over them. I was like, I'm not fixing that. I think I knit like the color work like a total of like 5 times between the two of them because I kept having to redo it. It's a difficult color work to do. Color work on the toe like that. You can't really see the design on these sock blockers, but I'll put some photos in. Because you're doing color work on the toe, it's hard to gauge how long it's going to be unless you just do it. Like, it's not like you're gonna be able to gauge that color work to see, you know, like what the total length would be. So you're really guessing, and I just really struggled with these socks. I did an afterthought heel for these. That was my first time doing it, and I definitely like that a lot better than the German short row. But I do notice that they don't fit as well as a heel flap and gusset. I would definitely prefer that over the short row, the German short row heel. So these are my raccoon socks. I think they're really cute. They made for the most beautiful photos when I took them. They were a little difficult to knit, but if you're looking for like a color work challenge, or if you're good at color work, then you may like these. Project 19 is my 1993 tee, and this is another pattern by Jessie May. I cast this on July 29th and I finished it September 9th for a total of 42 days, and it took me 35 hours to knit this. This is actually the first project that I started timing my knits. I knit the size small, and I knit this in Katia cashmere in 6 different colors. My finished object weighs 162 grams, and the bust is 34 inches. So this is my first project where I successfully made negative ease. I've got like half an inch of negative ease with this. This is such a beautiful pattern. The fit of this is absolutely amazing, and this yarn is really nice and soft. I love the funkiness of this knit. Like, these colors are not like something I would normally pick, but I love the way that it came out, and I can't get over how soft this yarn is. It's so soft that some of the ends, like while I was switching colors in here, undid themselves, which was difficult to fix. The set-in sleeves fit perfectly. Yeah, you can see I struggled picking up the back of these because some of it had undone itself. And you can see like some of the ends that I weave in will like pop up because it's just like a really soft, silky cotton yarn. Yeah, I love the double folded edges and everything about this I love, except it's a little bit too cropped, and that's a theme for me, is that I tend to crop things a little bit too much. It's cute, like it's doable. If you're looking for like a shirt that's gonna show some midriff, this is very cute. I do have a pair of blue shorts that match this really nicely that are high enough that I would feel comfortable wearing this, but I think I may add length to this just to make it more versatile so that I can wear it with more things. So yeah, I may add a couple of stripes, and I feel like it would take absolutely no time because this part of the body like flew by because stripes are like addicting. I love this piece. I can't wait to wear it. I finished it September 9th and I wore it a little bit, but summer was kind of over at that point. I also don't have finished object photos for this one, just because I was not in the mood to take summer photos when I had shifted my mentality to fall and winter. So I'll definitely have to do that for next year, and I will keep you posted. This is the 1993 tee by Jessie May. I'm going to skip project 20 if you're counting, because it's one of the whips that I'm going to end up taking into 2026. I didn't realize that I had numbered them and I didn't remove those, and I don't want to redo it this far into this video when the sun is setting. So project 20 is a whip that's going into 2026. Project 21 is my Cuff Club August 2025 by Summer Lee. And this was the first one I did where she did cables in the cuffs. I cast these on August 14th and I finished them September 13th for a total of 30 days. This is the size medium. I am using 2 colors from Twisted Ambition. These socks are some of my favorite socks because of the color. I absolutely love the neon pink and the variegated pink together. It's not a color that falls into my color season like for a sweater, so I'm really excited to get to use these colors in a sock, and I am absolutely in love with these. They're probably my favorite socks that I've ever knit just because of the beautiful variegated color and that alternating neon color for the cuff, heel, and toes. I wish that I could knit every pair of socks like this with like this combination. I love indie dyed sock yarn. It's very pricey, but I feel like it's something that I absolutely love and it's worth it. Maybe just not if I knit 10 socks a year, but maybe I can slow that down and knit less socks and get to knit them with this beautiful yarn. You know, indie dyed yarn is pricey for socks, but you usually can get away with knitting 2 pairs from a skein, like a 100-gram skein. So I just have to remember that too when I'm justifying buying more indie dyed sock yarn. So these were the Cuff Club August 2025 socks by Summerlee. Project 22 is the Dappled Lace Raglan, and that is a pattern by James and Watts. And I cast this on August 15th and I finished it December 31st, which was yesterday. I knit this for a total of 138 days. And it took me 42 hours to knit this. I knit the size medium, and I knit this in Pearl Soho Santalina. So this is the same yarn that I used for the Rib Lace Raglan, but I feel like it gave a totally different effect in this project. And I literally just finished this yesterday, and it is really, really special. I really love the way that this turned out. I was not super thrilled with the fit of the Rib Lace Raglan. I felt like it was just turned out smaller than I wanted it to. I was going for this, like a really lacy, flowy, oversized top. And that was my fault. I think I knit the Rib Lace Raglan. My gauge was too tight, and that's why it doesn't fit like this. But this was my redemption, and I'm so excited to get wear out of this. It is the most beautiful, like red color. And so I feel like I'm just gonna, I feel like it goes well with the palette that I've got going on, and I'm just really excited to get somewhere out of this. I did make a mistake in the pattern that bothered me a lot, and then when I finished it, I realized you really can't tell because it's really lacy and the pattern's really busy, so you can't see it unless you can, but then why are you looking there? But I'm really, really happy with the way that this came out. I have not worn it because I literally just finished it yesterday. So I'm really excited to get some wear out of it. I just filmed a vlog all about finishing my whips for the new year, and this is one of the items that I was finishing in that vlog. So that is the Dappled Lace Raglan by James and Watts. This is the most sun we've had like all day, and now it's too much. Project 23 is the Sadie top, and this is a pattern by Celine, Woozy by Celine. I cast this on August 18th and I finished it November 23rd. It took me a total of 97 days to knit this and 29 hours. So this was a relatively quick knit with that open gauge. I knit the size small, and I knit this with Woolly Warbler Baby Yak Cloud. And I absolutely love this top. I love the color and I love the fit. And when I wear it, I feel so pretty. I said that before, but I don't know what it is. It's just like ethereal when you wear it. And I took some photos of it out in Joshua Tree with like the lighting, and I just felt like a desert princess. So I love this top. I'm really excited to wear it. The yarn is so soft. It's like this alpaca cloud. It's not itchy at all, but I did notice like if I put a coat over it and then it like becomes next to skin, it wasn't itchy, but it didn't feel great. I don't know how to explain it. It was just like the feeling of wearing something like this loose and lacy and then having it like kind of cling to you when you put a coat over it wasn't it. So this will be something that I wear like as a top and like a going out top, you know? This is something that you wear like on a special occasion. It's not really something like that I would wear every day. I also feel like the arms have grown since I blocked it originally. And so I do love the long look of the arms and like the bell sleeves, but I hope it doesn't keep growing because then at some point it's gonna go over my hands completely. This is the Sadie top by Celine. So project 24 is another one that's going into 2026. And then project 25 is a project that I'm hibernating. So again, I forgot to like reorganize the numbers before I did this. So we're just gonna have to go on and skip to project 26. Project 26 is my Comebackagain cardigan, and this is a pattern by Andrea Mowry. I cast this on September 9th and I finished it October 8th for a total of 39 days, and this sweater took me 85 hours. I love knowing that a sweater takes 85 hours now. I feel like I drop that into all sorts of conversations. Like when people are like, will you knit me a sweater? And I let them know that this took me 85 hours. So this is a project that I knit as part of a vlog trying to finish a sweater for Rhinebeck. This was the first year I went to Rhinebeck in Rhinebeck, New York Sheep and Wool. I absolutely love this sweater and I love that I got to wear it to Rhinebeck. It's a sport weight sweater, so it's a little lightweight, so I do feel like I'll get a lot of wear out of this here in California. But my absolute favorite thing about this is the color. I cannot believe that I almost knit this in brown, but something just sparked in me and I was like, what if I knit it in this color? And a friend was actually over when I was deciding whether or not I wanted to buy yarn for this because it was during their sale, the North Bay Fiber sale. And she was like, you should totally do that color. And so the Comebackagain Cardigan was born. The yarn is North Bay Fiber Company Heritage Sport, which is like this beautiful woolen spun yarn. And yeah, there's just the color. The color is the showstopper for me. I'm so excited that I knit this. I feel like it's opened my love for the color green and this like tealy blue green. And it's just, it just makes me so happy. And like the joy that it brings to make something this colorful is inspiring me to knit with more color in 2026. And so I just can't thank you enough, Comebackagain Cardigan, for doing that. This is the Comebackagain Cardigan by Andrea Mowry. Again, I have a whole vlog of the process of me making that, so I will link that in the description as well. Project 27 is my Old Salt Socks, and this is a pattern by Ashley Adams, also known as Designed by So-and-So, and I knit this as part of a knit along with Casey from Young Folk Knits and Ashley from Designed by So-and-So called Fish Girl Fall. And this was my submission for that. They are a pair of Old Salt socks. I cast them on September 15th and I finished them November 21st for a total of 71 days. I knit the size 2 and I knit these with a mixture of the foot is Cascade Heritage, and the color like macadamia, I believe. The orange is Knit Pick Stroll, and then the 2 greens are from Coats & Co. Fibers. The toe is something that I added to this sock. I don't know, I guess I was just really into like doing this type of toe where you do like a colorwork stripe and then a solid toe. I did struggle a bit with the color work on this one with my tension. The first one, I mean, I did fine. And then the second one, I, for some reason, knit a bit tighter. And if you look closely, you can kind of tell that these fish look like they're like wearing like corsets a little bit, like they're smaller and they're also shorter in length than the other one. It's a trivial amount, like the socks are not different lengths, thank goodness. They're the same length. Once I noticed it, I was like, I am not re-knitting that because I didn't feel like it. I think I noticed after I had done the heel, and that's why I didn't want to rip it out. And I was just ready for some foot knitting on these socks. I knit these on my road trip, and I think I knit the second color work at my grandparents' house, and I wanted to get to the foot so I could knit that on the drive home. So those are my Old Salt Socks by Ashley Adams. Project 28 is my Friday Slipover by Petite Knit, and I cast this on October 10th. And I am technically not finished with it, but I wanted to count it as my 2025 whips because I'm gonna finish this tonight. I have like a few rows left of the ribbing and a bind off, and that's it. The collar, the arms are done. I didn't feel right carrying this to 2026 because I'm almost done, like 100% less than an hour. 30 minutes probably of knitting left on this, and it is January 1st today. So I think I will get this done tonight and then it'll be a 2025 whip done. I actually wish I would have cropped it, I think a little bit more, but we'll see. I don't know, because I always regret cropping things too much. But when I tried it on before I did the ribbing, I was like, it's so cute at this length. I actually already blocked it because I thought that I was ready for ribbing and then ended up adding a bit more length to the body. I do have to reblock like this, like just this much at the bottom of it, but it's almost done. So I'm counting it. This is done in 2025. I did not time this one, but if I finish it today, I will have finished it in 83 days. I knit the size small, and I was knitting this as a buddy knit with Casey, who's knitting the V-neck version. And so I'm tempted to knit another one in the V-neck version and super crop it if I like that look still once this one is done. So that was the Friday Slipover by Petite Knit. Project 29 is my Ooey Gooey Mitts by Andrea Mowry. And I cast these on November 13th and I finished them December 1st for a total of 18 days. And these took 10.5 hours per mitt to knit. I knit the size 3 and I knit these in Woolly Thistle Rambler. So here are the finished mitts. And these were a really, really fun knit. I actually knit these as a gift for Mr. Cheek for Christmas, and this was a test knit that I did for Andrea Mowry. It was a quick test knit because they're mittens, so I was able to get them done in 3 weeks. I didn't do the Ooey Gooey sock challenge because I was knitting these, but I did kind of feel like I was participating in them a little bit because I was also knitting Ooey Gooeys, just in secret. I actually have to redo one of these. I knit the first one perfectly, and then the second one, I forgot to change my ribbing needle, so you do use a smaller needle for the ribbing portion of it, and I never changed it, and so the second mitten is smaller than the first mitten. They weigh almost the same. Did I write down how much they weigh? I forget how much they weighed, but they weighed almost the exact same amount. So it's not like a huge difference, but it's enough that I feel like you can tell in the mitts that one of them is smaller. And it's like slightly shorter too because of the gauge. So I definitely plan on re-knitting that. I was just trying to finish some of my whips this year, so I haven't done it yet, but that is something that I'm planning to do in the beginning of the year for Mr. Cheek. So those were the Ooey Gooey Mitts by Andrea Mowry. Project 30 is another project that is going to 2026. Project 31 is what I'm calling my birthday beanie, and this is a version of the Hidden Scraps beanie, but I did do a different crown shaping, so it's kind of a modification. I struggled to make the decreases in the Hidden Scraps beanie pattern look neat. I feel like the end product of it looks great, but while I was knitting it, I just kind of struggled. So I decided to go for a different crown decrease. This is what I came up with. It's the same thing that Petite Knit does in her weekend hat. So you can kind of call this a mashup of the Hidden Scraps beanie and the weekend hat by Petite Knit. I cast this on my birthday on December 3rd and I finished it on December 16th for a total of 15 days. I knit the adult small and the yarn is Fiber MacGyver Shanico DK in the color Emerald. And I am obsessed with this color. It is so poppy. It's just a bright green and I love wearing it. So the Hidden Scraps part I did in some scrap yarn. I think this is Earth scrap yarn. It's like a superwash yarn that I had in stash. And I wanted to make sure that I could do the triple brim in this beautiful color. So that's why I chose to do the Hidden Scraps for this. I did have to alternate skeins for this. It is a hand-dyed yarn, but I'm absolutely obsessed with the Shanico DK. Like I want to knit a garment in this. It's so nice. It did turn out a little bit big and I was stressed out the whole time I was knitting this that it was going to be too small. So I don't know. But it still fits. I think maybe it just needs to be thrown in the dryer for like 5 seconds. Have you ever done that trick? I'm a little nervous, but it's slightly too big, but it's not too big. I just feel like it could use a little bit more like of a negative ease on the head, but also, you know, I kind of stretched out when blocking it, so maybe it will go back to normal. But I really love this beanie, mostly because of the color, but I also really love the fit of the Hidden Scraps pattern. So that was my birthday beanie, and that was my last project that I cast on of the year 2025 for a total of 27 finished objects. We are going to wrap up this video by talking about my top 3 knits of this year, and that is my Eva Cardigan, my Comebackagain Cardigan, and the birthday beanie. These were my 3 top knits. I just feel like the Eva Cardigan is so versatile. I love wearing it every day, and it is so soft. I wear it next to skin with like a tank top underneath. I'll wear it with sweatpants to go to the grocery store. I get so much wear out of this, and the yarn is hands down some of my favorite yarn. The Comebackagain Cardigan was just such a beautiful color. color, and I loved the textured pattern of the knit. And it just makes me really happy to wear something that is such a beautiful color and to feel confident in it. And I feel like it just did a lot for my like love of knitting with color. And then lastly, for my top 3 is the birthday beanie or the hidden scraps beanie. And that is also because I just love the color. This was a yarn that I picked up at Rhinebeck from Fiber MacGyver. Did I mention that when I was talking about it? I don't know, but it's yarn by Fiber MacGyver in the color emerald, and I just love the color so much. I wanted a bright green beanie, so I got it and I'm happy, and I knit it really fast, and it was just like instant gratification. Those are my top 3 knits of 2025. Thank you so much for watching my everything that I knit in 2025. I'm excited to keep making videos in the year of 2026, so don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one, and I will see you next time. Bye.